Today we're going to talk about grit and growth mindset. So what I usually start off with is, what do you guys think the word grit means? And so I don't mean the sandiness of sandpaper, and I don't mean the Southern breakfast food. I mean the personality trait. So sometimes you guys know what it is, sometimes you don't. So then usually what I do is I launch into this TED Talk. So I'm going to let you watch this on your own. It's embedded into the presentation. So I want you to take a moment to pause this video and then watch the video that I have in the presentation. What we find out in the video is that grit means having passion and perseverance for your long-term goals. So basically, not just going to, you're not going to throw your hands up in the air and say, I quit, it's too hard, it's, too challenging, too much of a challenge, I'm going to stop. Okay, because that's not a good personality trait to have. You should keep pushing forward and have perseverance, even when the going gets tough. So when the going gets tough, you just have to keep going. So when I ask why we need grit, I get a number of different responses to that question. But mostly what I need you to get out of it is we need to have grit, because if we don't have grit, it's going to be really challenging to make sure that we achieve our goals. Because if we've set a good goal for ourselves, it's not going to be something that comes to us very easily. We're going to have to work towards it, and at some point we're probably going to encounter some challenges. So if we don't have grit, as soon as we encounter a challenge in that goal, we're not going to be as successful at achieving that goal. So then I have you guys ponder if you think you have grit. Some people say they do, some people don't. But what I really want you to do is just to try to, if you feel like you don't have it, try to develop it. Because during this class, during FACS, we are going to have some things that, maybe you've never done before, you haven't seen before, you've never been exposed to. So it's a really good idea to just stick with it and not just throw your hands up in the air and give up. So what we're trying to do is fail forward, making sure that if we make mistakes, we're learning from those mistakes so that we don't repeat those same mistakes in the future. So then I pose a puzzle to you. And so I give you this 9-dot puzzle where you have to draw 4 straight lines through the middle of all of the dots without taking your pencil up off of the paper. So your starting line is always going to, your line is always going to start where your other line finished up. Okay, so I give you a few moments to kind of look this over, see if you can solve it. In our previous discussion, I said, do you believe that you can learn anything? Do you believe in growth mindset, that you have the ability to learn how to do difficult and challenging things as long as they're possible, if you're given enough time and you have the ability to work towards it? So everybody agrees, yes, we can do that. And then I give you this challenging puzzle, and I have people who say it's impossible, it can't be done, it's, you can't do it. And all of those are fixed mindset statements. And so we talk about how it's really important that we keep an open mind. And sometimes it is really easy to forget that, we have to keep pushing forward, and we have to have a positive mindset and a growth mindset to make sure that we are successful. So then I pass out a set of 12 toothpicks, and I have you guys work through these puzzles. Again, just trying to listen for certain things and see if you guys are having a growth mindset or a fixed mindset, and it's just fun to try to see you guys solve these puzzles. Okay, and then I end with this You Can Learn Anything video, so pause where we're at in this video and go back and watch that. Now that you've watched that, I leave you with, we all start at 0, so we all start learning everything. So we know nothing other than how to cry. So we have to learn how to talk. We have to learn how to walk. We have to learn how to read. Anything, any skills, any knowledge that you have right now, you had to develop, and you had to learn, and you had to practice. So just like with anything that you have in the future that's challenging, that you have to learn, you have the ability to learn it. You just have to work towards it. Okay, so that's it for our grit and growth mindset. So just remember that it's important to have a growth mindset and it's important to have grit. So grit means not giving up and having perseverance and keeping trying even when the going gets tough. And it's important to have because we need grit in order to be successful at achieving our goals.